one of those things where I mean, look, I mean, it was clear as day. I mean, Michigan's the better football team. I mean, they proved they were the way better football team. I think that it just happened more in flashes, right? It's as opposed to being consistent from first quarter through the fourth, then through the end of the game, right? We would have liked to see them just boat race Iowa and show, you know what, you're nowhere near our level. And I think they did that, but in spots today, not really consistently. So I think that's like the next step if they are on a trajectory to being a great team, which you don't know yet. But look, um, it's just it might be one of those games where, and I text this to you, Des, that it was an ugly style type of opponent, and they had to win ugly. And I think one thing we know about Jim Harbaugh is that he doesn't really care too much about style points in terms of how he gets to win. Uh, and a lot of times, he approaches the game is based on the opponent and just getting out there with a win. You know what I'm saying? And you know what, when we're in it, look, if we got to run the football, we got to win ugly. We'll do that and we'll move forward. And he has no gripes or concerns or um, hesitations for doing that. So the way this game turned out, I'm not surprised. And I think a lot of Michigan fans who know Jim Harbaugh as well are not surprised either.
Yeah. Well, and what the spread was, I think 10.5, something like that.
Yeah.
So, you cover, you're over that. And Michigan's got Indiana next week. I mean, any early thoughts there with Indiana?
Not really. I mean, Indiana. They for year after year they tend to be like a pain in the butt for Michigan. But I don't think it's one of those Indiana teams that just has like the firepower to do it. I mean, they don't have Michael Penix Jr. anymore. He's at Washington, and they just don't have enough. So no, I'm not worried about Indiana. I mean, like honestly, the next big time game for them is going to be Penn State. That's going to be the next huge. I think they have Indiana. Then I believe they're at Rutgers. Then they have Penn State, and that's going to be the game we circle. Like, okay, now
No. So they have Indiana this next week, and then they play Penn State.
it's Indiana, then it's Penn State.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, okay. Well, all right. Well, I think that Penn State game. Either way, the Penn State game is going to be a big one. Now, I'm glad it's at home. I would assume if both teams, staying undefeated going through next week, that's probably should be flexed to a 3:30 or night game, and it'll be awesome. Be under the lights at the big house. So, but anyway, that's down the line. But that's the next game that I'm certain. Like we're going to learn something about this team one way or the other. Indiana, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
Just being
Yeah,
honest.
I don't have really any concerns there with Indiana, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'd expect probably 35 ish points on as far as against Indiana, maybe more.